Hello and welcome to another tier list. Today we are taking a look at fruit. I personally am a huge fan of fruit. I eat it all the time, so I'm super excited. So starting us off, we have apples. Now apples are kind of the trademark of fruit, the standard, the one that comes to mind when people think of fruit. And there's kind of three main types of apples. You got green, you got red, yellow, and then tons of varieties of each. And if we're talking like a nice sour Granny Smith apple, that's my favorite kind of apple. That would be an A tier, but because there's, all the bad apples, if you will, just of lesser varieties that just aren't quite as flavorful, the skin is too thick, those kind of drag down apple a little bit for me, so we'll slot it into the B tier. Overall, still a good fruit. Up next, we have avocados. I love avocados. You can eat them plain, you can put it on sandwiches, burgers, toast. I mean, you can just put it on so many things. And then on top of that, avocado is the key ingredient in guacamole, which is just as versatile. I absolutely love guacamole. I mean, I could just eat that plain. I don't even need to put it on chips or a sandwich. Avocados for me, easy S tier. Up next, we have bananas. I love bananas, absolutely. But I get into a lot of debate with people about what is the proper ripeness for a banana. And some people say, oh, it's opinion, you can like it really brown or like it really green. But I say no, there's a right and a wrong way, a wrong time, if you will, to eat a banana. And the perfect banana is an entirely yellow banana, no green, with a few brown spots just starting to show up. You eat a banana when it's like that, you're in for a good time. Bananas, easy S tier. Up next, we got blackberries. Blackberries are kind of similar in size, shape, and texture to raspberries, but they're a little more bitter, not quite as sweet. They're pretty good overall, I would say. I don't really have too many complaints about blackberries, haven't had many had experiences with them. But they just don't really do anything too special. They don't fit into a lot of dishes quite as much as other fruits do, but still pretty good. I'll put them in the C tier. Up next, we have blueberries. Blueberries are really good. You can put them in a lot of different food. I mean, muffins, pancakes, waffles. Because they're so small, they're so good at just going into a bunch of different food. On their own, they're good, but I personally like to put them in something, or even just mixing them with another fruit like strawberries or blackberries. Really makes them a bit better. But I would say because of versatility and the flavor's good, we'll put them in the A tier. Up next, we have cantaloupe. Now, a lot of people don't like cantaloupe, and I'm convinced it's because they've never had good cantaloupe, because the world, and specifically school lunches back in the day, were filled with garbage cantaloupe. I mean, cantaloupe, when it's properly ripe, should be the texture of like avocado. It should be soft. There shouldn't be any crunch. But so often I've had cantaloupe and I bite into it and it's hard and there's just no flavor. If you have a cantaloupe that's soft, ripe, and juicy, delicious. But man, sometimes it is hard to come by. Cantaloupe is delicious, but just because there's been so many times where I've had my hopes set high and then I bite into it and it's a rock instead of a cantaloupe, we'll put it in the B tier. Up next, we have cherries. Now, cherries for me are an interesting fruit because I look at them and I think, man, they look delicious. I smell them and they smell delicious, and then I bite into them and my taste buds want to commit suicide because it's so just repulsive to me. I don't know why. I wish I liked cherries. I think they look super appetizing. I think they smell good. And strangely, I actually like cherry artificial flavoring, like a cherry slushy or smoothie. I think it tastes good, but actual cherries, I don't know what it is, but they're red and they belong in the F tier. Up next, we have grapes. You got your standard red, purple grapes, and you got your green grapes, you got your black grapes. For me, I can't even tell you the difference. They all taste pretty mediocre. They're good. I love grape juice, but grapes on their own, they're not the best. I'll actually put them in the D tier. Up next, we have grapefruit, not to be confused with grapes. Grapefruit, I'm not a huge fan of their juice, and I'm not a huge fan of the flavor. There's just not too much redeeming for me when it comes to grapefruit, so I'm going to slot them in the F tier along with cherries. Up next, we have mangoes. Now, mangoes kind of fit a similar niche for me to cantaloupe. They have a similar texture, similar amount of juice, different flavors, mind you, but they fit into kind of the same category in terms of, how I eat them. But I'm not a huge fan of the flavor compared to cantaloupe. If I had to choose between the two of them, it would definitely be cantaloupe. And if I'm craving a fruit that is similar to these, I'm probably just going to choose cantaloupe over mango. So mango, we'll slot it into the D tier. Up next, we have oranges. Really good on their own, but I hate having to go through the process of peeling oranges. So annoying, especially when the skin is really sticking to the fruit of the orange. But orange juice is delicious. I mean, it's a great way to start the day with breakfast, so we'll put it in the B tier. Up next, we have peaches. Now, peaches, I don't know if you know this, they have actual hair on them, which I don't know why, but it's kind of disgusting. I mean, a hairy fruit, I mean, when you think about eating something that's hairy, it just doesn't sound good. And flavor-wise, peaches aren't the best either, but the peach juice is pretty good, so we'll put them in the C tier. Up next, we got pineapple. Pineapple is another one of these that's pretty annoying to prepare, and also they're like so big, and so even storing them in your kitchen is quite a hassle sometimes. Like if you try and keep more than one pineapple in your kitchen at a time, people are gonna start looking at you a little bit weird. But if you do prepare them properly and you peel them, cut them into slices, pineapple is really good so long as it's not too hard. It's another one where it's got to be ripe, it's got to be soft and juicy. Hard pineapple is no good, but when it's ripe and it's done well, delicious. We'll put it in the B tier. Up next, we have pomegranate, yet another fruit that is a huge pain to try and prepare. I mean, peeling it, getting all the fruit from the inside away from the skin is such an annoying process. Some people can do it super well and super quick. Every time I do it, I end up losing like half the fruit. So, and even flavor-wise, I'm not a huge pomegranate person. So, mainly because of the peeling and preparation process, it's going to be a D tier for me. Up next, we have raspberries. Kind of similar to blackberries, like I said, in terms of texture and style and size. But they're very sweet, delicious, nice and plump. You pick some of these in the summer, pop them into your mouth, you're going to have a good time. Easy A tier for raspberries. Up next, we have strawberries. Strawberries are absolutely delicious, really easy to prepare, fun to pick. If you go picking strawberries and just fill your stomach with them, oh, it's a great time. Great way to pass the time in the summer. Delicious, and they go great with so many things like pancakes and waffles. Easy S tier. Up next, we have watermelon. These things are huge. If you try and buy more than one from the grocery store at a time, it's like trying to store pineapple in your kitchen. It's just not going to work. Buy them one at a time. That's my recommendation when you go to the grocery store. They're another one that it can be kind of hard to prepare, and you almost want to prepare the whole watermelon at once, which is quite time consuming because they're so big and takes so long to cut up. But once you do it, they're really good. Because they're so watery, they're a great way to just refresh yourself in the summer. I would say watermelon, easy A tier. So this is my fruit list. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of disagreements. I know some people will definitely disagree with me on cherries, but like I said, I wish I liked them, but they're disgusting. Hope you guys enjoy.